and welcome to the program. I am Abisola Adebayo. Well, there might be a storm brewing in Osun State following the assumption of office of Senator Ademola Adeleke, popularly called the Dancing Senator. Barely 2 days into office, news made rounds that there's been a massive termination of appointments by the newly elected governor. The governor allegedly sacked 12,000 workers employed by his predecessor Adegboyega Oyetola. He dethroned 3 monarchs and abolished the state of Osun appellation created by former Governor Rauf Aregbesola to Osun State. Apparently, there's been so much drama in less than a week of assuming office. Now, there's however been questions whether Governor Adeleke is actually acting in the interest of his people or is just on a political vendetta right now. To discuss all this and more, I'm now being joined on the program by Jide Ojo, who is a political affairs analyst. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Let me start by getting your reaction on this whole situation.
It's not totally unexpected that there will be brickbats between the former and the present governor in Osun State, given the fact that they belong to different political parties and they are political enemies. I recall that in 2018, um, Senator Ademola Adeleke lost narrowly, very, very narrowly to the outgone governor of Osun State, that's
Oyetola Adegboyega.
Oyetola, at that time, with the narrowest of margin in the political history of Nigeria, about 350 votes. Their perception then was that the mandate of Ademola Adeleke was stolen by the APC. 4 years down the line, he has won back his mandate, and it may not be too far from truth if you say what is going on in the last couple of days in Osun smacks of political vendetta. But you also need to understand the politics or at stake. Um, Let me give you two quick instances. On Thursday last week, the outgoing governor of Osun, with barely 1 day left in office, official day, the handover was on Sunday, but on Thursday, he came out with an announcement of appointment of 30 permanent secretaries. Why would you be appointing permanent secretaries when you have lost election and you have 1 day, official day to go? It was like a booby trap for the incoming administration. Two, there was the issue around the local government elections. The local government election was held in the state, in Osun State, on October 15. PDP boycotted that election and they went to court, and the court has given judgment to say that election is a kangaroo election and should not stand. So the court of competent jurisdiction has nullified that election. Three, the issue around the other appointments, were they made with due process? I really don't know. Even though I'm an indigenous of Osun State, I am not resident in the state. So I wouldn't know what were the modalities and procedures that were taken in appointing the other civil servants whose appointments were terminated, as well as the dethronement of the 3 monarchs. I think that of Igbajo, Ire, and one other term. But you cannot rule out the fact that there are two sides to it. One, there could be lack of due process in some of these appointments. Two, there could be political vendetta. Don't forget, Abisola, that Nigeria runs what is called winner-takes-all political system. We have a winner-takes-all political system where, by virtue of somebody winning all the offices and the perks of that offices accrues to the winner, and the loser loses virtually everything. So the bottom line is that where due process has not been followed, those who are aggrieved have a right to approach the court for adjudication. Like those three monarchs, many chieftaincy issues, not only in Osun State but across the country, are largely resolved by the courts, even when there is no answer of one political party to the other. The issue of chieftaincy affairs, ownership, is usually very contentious, and sometimes it takes the Supreme Court to have the final say on who is the rightful candidate for the throne.
Governor actually even signed 6 executive orders, to sack this monarch and the civil servants also that was sacked. Do you think he actually needed to sign those executive orders? I mean, he could have just set up, a panel to maybe analyze how those guys were appointed and all that. But do you think he actually needed to sign those executive orders to do what he had to do?
Well, I'm not very versed in administration, not having been a public servant or civil servant all my life. I've been in the private sector. So I really don't know whether he should have set up a committee or the executive order. But I want to let you know that he has his own team of advisors who are telling him what to do and what not to do. I believe within the PDP echelon in Osun State, there are those who are whispering to him, this is what you should do, this is what you should not do. And let me also respond to the issue of state of Osun and Osun State. Right. In the Constitution, what is recognizable in the Constitution is Osun State, not the state of Osun. So reversing that is not out of order. I don't know what value state of Osun has brought to that state. Then the issue of reverting back to reverting to the state of the living spring, from what Adeleke'S renamed it to be state of the virtue or something. That's neither here nor there. You can have more than one appellation, whether you want to have it as state of the living spring or state of the virtue. I recall that even Ekiti State has, at some point, it was state of honor, and it's neither here nor there. But I think the substantial issue that concerns me is good governance. How will Ademola Adeleke, govern with the fear of God and deliver on his 5-point agenda that he campaigned upon? I think all these ones, executive orders, reversal of appointments, are just mere distractions. Those who are aggrieved, like I said, those who are aggrieved have a right to approach the court. There was even a very disturbing story on Monday that some NURTW officials were shooting. NURTW members were shooting at some of the parks, trying to overthrow the leadership in some of the parks. And these arose because of the partisanship of these NURTW members themselves, including their leadership. We've seen that in Lagos, we've seen that in Oyo State. These people are very powerful, and they are used as political foot soldiers during the electioneering. But like I said, more importantly is good governance in Osun State. Can we have the salaries of workers paid as and when due? Can we have the pensions of the retirees who have retired over a decade ago? Can we have their pensions paid? Can we have improvement on the state of infrastructure? My father retired from the civil service of Osun State, and till he died, he never got his entitlement. And even after his death, we only got paltry sum of money as his gratuity. He should also be told, of course, he knew this for a fact, that the PDP is a minority in the Osun State House of Assembly.
Yeah.
There are two reports. There are those who said there are 2 out of 26 members of Osun State House of Assembly who are PDP members and 24 APC members. There is also those, I've also read about those who said there are 3 PDP members and 23 APC members. Whichever one you want to take, PDP is in the minority. And election is approaching, 2023 election is approaching in another 3 months or thereabout. Or the governor should ensure that he supports his party men who are contesting for, membership in the Osun State House of Assembly, so that he could have his members in majority, and as such have his a smooth sail for his administration. Because as things stand, with him being an opposition party and the assembly in assembly now in opposition, he now being the ruling belonging to the ruling party, a house divided against itself may not stand. So he needs to curry the favor of the Osun State House of Assembly members, issues around the passage of the budget, issue around the confirmation of appointment, issue around even if he wants to borrow money, he needs the approval of the State House of Assembly. And it needs to tread very carefully. I mean, Senator Adeleke, Governor Ademola Adeleke need to tread very carefully, particularly in the lead up to this 2023 general election, because that these state assembly people can make the state of governance for him. They might frustrate him, frustrate his policies, refuse to pass his budget, refuse to even approve his nominations and all of that. And that would make him not to be able to take off on a good start.
Quickly, before I let you go, one thing I'd like you to comment on is the former governor, Gale is still standing on his words that he's still seeking a redress on the outcome of the governorship election, and that he is optimistic that the court might even rule in his favor. But now the new governor has been sworn in. How exactly would you react to that?
Well, it's within the right of former governor Gale to seek legal redress. That was what Senator Ademola Adeleke did in 2018. He fought his way through to Supreme Court, and even though he lost narrowly to Gale in that election, the Supreme Court still endorsed the victory of Oyetola in that 2018 election. So we don't know. The Court of First Instance, which is the Election Petition Tribunal, have 6 months within which to adjudicate on the petition of Oyetola. And even as at that, even if there is a decision given at the Court of First Instance, governorship election is within the right of the petitioners or the defendant to appeal the judgment up to Supreme Court. So I do not see, even if Oyetola will be declared the winner of the election, he will still have to wait till 2023. And it's not going to be that easy road. First, let's hear what the Court of First Instance will say. Even if the Court of First Instance says, oh, yes, Oyetola won, the case will, I am very positive that the governor will appeal that decision. And there is a 60-day for him to appeal at the Court of Appeal, another 60 days for him to appeal at the Supreme Court. So you are looking at a total of 240 days of election petition, and the Court of First Instance is here to give a verdict one way or the other. So it's within the right of Oyetola to seek legal redress, but they should just not disturb the peace of Osun State. That state is an agrarian state. It needs all the development that it can get, and they should just play mature politics.
I definitely agree with you. Mr. Jide Ojo, Political Affairs Analyst, thank you so much for joining us on the program and for your contributions. We'll go on a short break now, and when we return, we'll be talking about something else entirely. Stay with us.